Yeah, so that's the thing that we're going to be making today. So, welcome back to That CGI Guy, and today we're going to learn how to make a cinematic title sequence like this. And I'm sorry that it's fuzzy. I don't know why it looks like that, but anyways, yeah. So, we're in Blender. Let's hit a new project and let's go to a Shift A, and then we're gonna hit a text. Didn't know where it was for a second. Let's hit RX90 and then tab. And when you tab, that's when you can like type out what you want. So let's type out something um, like I don't know, Desmios. That's my other channel. That's my like Christian channel where I do stuff. Yeah, so then if we go here, you can look up pretty much whatever font you want. I used Parada font, and I found it somewhere. But you can also do a really cool thing where let's go into here, and it actually provides you with fonts inside of uh, Blender, which is really really cool. And they have a lot of really cool ones that you can use. But of course, some you have to pick wisely because according to the geometry of what it'll look like, it can intersect and stuff. But let's change the geometry of this thing. So we're going to extrude it maybe to about there, and then the depth, which is the bevel, let's go to like a 0.01. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and then the font, I'm actually just gonna change it to Pirata, so Pirata 1. I really, really like this. So, there are a couple things that you can do. I didn't really change the character spacing or the word spacing, but you can. So, you can do, oh, don't know why that's not working. Anyways, you can do this. You can go 1.1, you can make it look alright. Like even 1.05 would look alright. But we're just gonna leave it at 1 because this looks, like I said, all right. Let's save our project. Let's call this cinematic text boy with an I in caps somehow. I don't know why. Let's go to the shader editor and okay. So now we gotta make the material for our text. So we're gonna hide the camera and we're gonna add a new material. So we want to make this 100% metallic, and even if you change this color right here, it's still going to change later on because we have to deal with mix RGBs and all of that. So turn the roughness down probably to like right there, and you can even turn the transmission up, but it doesn't really do anything too much. But yeah, so you can leave that down if you want. Okay, so now we are going to add in a Musgrave texture, and a Musgrave texture with a color ramp, and this is going to be a kind of procedural bump that we're gonna do. So put the normal into the normal, put the color into the height, if you can get it there, and it's doing nothing right now, which is good. We don't want it to do anything. So click invert so that the bump is going in, but right now it doesn't really look a whole lot like our first thing, and that's because we need to go Control T. We need to ramp up the detail. We need to ramp up or turn down the dimension, and then change with Control T the object to vector. And now everything looks right. And then you can play with this. This is kind of the separation of kind of the distortion or grainy effect. And then you can move this over here. So that's kind of another procedural thing that you can do. But we're gonna maybe scale it to like right here. about 4.9, and dimension is on 0.8. Okay, so we have all this. Let's move this over, and we want some scratches on it, right? So we're gonna put in an image texture, and the cool thing is that if you go to CCO textures, you can look up a scratch material, or I mean, you can even buy like hundreds of roughness maps from Blender Market and stuff like that. I think um, Clinton Jones, who works for Corridor, he just made a ton of them, which is really good. And I've seen a lot of add-ons that do the same thing. But we're gonna hook in a scratches, and we're gonna put that into the roughness. But you'll see that it is way too shiny, and the UV coordinates are all messed up. So the vector for this is going to be the same vector for the image. So they are fixed, but we still can't really see them too well. So we're going to do that, and then we are going to put in a mix RGB. This is kind of my way to solve this. So what we're going to do is this factor is kind of going to change the difference between the white. So completely black means that it's going to be completely shiny, and completely white means like there's no shine at all, or, zero roughness whatsoever. So we're going to put it down to about right there, and then you can go further in scaling it with that. So we'll leave it there, or maybe even a little rougher. So now we're going to make a second bump map, and this is going to be our factor for that as well. And then we're going to take another mix RGB. I'm pretty sure mix is the only factor that actually works with bump maps when you're using mix RGB, and the strength is crazy. So one click invert, that it's going in, and just tune down the strength, and there you go. There's some scratches with also the roughness for the scratches, so that looks good. But we need some color, we need some color. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have two mix RGBs. The first one is going to be our metal and a rust edge detection thing. So from another project, I have this node group, literally just called node group, and this was from the edge detectorial for that CG Matter did, and it's really good. So if you just want to copy this, you can. So this is this is it. This is the noise texture, and what this is basically gonna do is it's just gonna put some roughness, and then this is the edge detect. So yeah, that's basically that. We're gonna put this as the factor for this color. And why we're not seeing anything is because one, check and see if you have an HDRI setup. How you do this, just kind of click X, and then you can hit Control T on the background, and then you can go to where you have your HDRI saved, and then you can just find that. So you have your HDRI saved right there, and then make sure you're in cycles, and you can be using GPU if you want to make sure to keep saving your project. So let's go to cycles, because this is actually the only way that we can see our thing. Oh, okay, hold on, I'm so sorry. We're gonna go back to CPU because that's the only way that it can use it right now. Okay, so we're gonna turn this into kind of a rust texture, and I'm gonna turn that down so you can actually see the edges here. You can probably see it better from this angle. If you see, you can see a kind of a rust edging on them, and then this is going to be the color of our metallic. But you're like, well, where's the blue though? Where's the blue? Well, we're gonna put in another mix RGB. This is going to be the color, and this is going to be the factor. This color ramp with the Musgrave is going to be the factor, and we're going to change that to a blue, which is real cool. Yeah, and then yeah, that's that's pretty much that. So and then you can play with the color ramp on how much you want this blue to impact, and yeah, you can get some pretty cool results off of that. Okay, then just play around with this even more and change the roughness. You can change the strength of the bump, and you can even play around with these if you want it to be darker. That's cool as well. And then you can even change the scale for it. So maybe even something like that would look cool. And yeah, well, there you go. That's how to add a material for it, and that's how you make your cinematic text. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.